Welcome to Neutral Voices. I'm Dr. V, and this is In Depth, where we dig deep in the trenches of what matters. And tonight, I was trying to put on my scary face, but I couldn't get it to come out right. I'm like, I cannot come on with a big cheesy face talking about anger and fear. We're talking about the circle of anger and fear, how they connect. How y'all feel? Welcome, Millie. You on the panel with us. We
Good
have
evening.
Mildred with us.
Welcome.
Yes. So listen, we got a lot to talk about. Let's get right into it. We want to talk about anger. Let's start with anger because I believe that we're going to find that these two kind of merge together. And I would say one produces the other almost. What y'all think?
I think I think both of them produce each other.
Okay.
No matter which one you put first. I think the byproduct of each of them is the latter. Whichever one you put 1st you're going to see the latter come through that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start. Let's
It's a
start
circle.
with yes.
I actually have to agree.
You said for a change?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a circle. One has to do with the other. In the video you saw the iceberg, the anger. There's an underlying issue, but when you get to that root, then you get angry because you figured out, and it's back until you learn how to deal with other underlying issues to, omit that.
Yes.
Uh-oh. I
So-
feel the anger.
Wait, I was going to say,
Hold
I
on,
feel like
the
E want to
heat.
say something. E, before you get too deep, you got
I
something
don't think they can be related, distant cousins. I would say, because just because I'm angry or I have anger, don't mean I'm fearing of anything.
Really?
Well,
Right. And I can
So-
see that point. And I'm
So-
not saying this.
So you're saying it's a circle, and
It is a
runs
circle, but
it
it's-
runs together. Just because I'm angry or have an anger about something,
Why are
don't
you
mean
angry?
don't mean I'm fear of. I have the fear of something. That's not the
Okay.
underlining of my anger.
cause of your anger.
Exactly. So,
Okay, so as we dig deeper into this conversation, maybe we'll find out whether you're right or wrong.
I mean,
It's
everybody's
different. I won't say
then I
right
was
or
gonna
wrong.
say-
I just
No,
say
I mean, you have to look at everybody's perspective. Just because
Yes.
somebody say they are connected, don't mean they are really connected in some. You know what I'm saying?
In all
I do know.
aspects.
I
In
do
all
know
aspects.
exactly what you're saying,
Yeah.
and so we're going to dig a little deeper, and we're going to be educated tonight on anger and fear, and then we'll see. Maybe you'll change your thoughts, and maybe not. So, meanwhile, let's start with the definition because there's different definitions for anger, and so yep.
So, I brought up the definition according to Oxford. It's a noun. It's a strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, or hostility. The verb is someone or something is filled with anger, provoked in anger. And there's 3 types of anger: passive aggression, open anger, and assertive.
Oh, we're gonna need to talk a little bit about these
Yeah.
3 types
These 3
of
types.
anger. Now, do we see these 3 types on a regular basis? And the reason I'm saying this is because I would say the world today is so full of anger. I mean, when you think about people on the plane, it's like the passengers ready to box.
Right.
People driving in the car is just road rage, and people driving all aggressive. They don't want to get senior citizens time to make the turn.
Right.
Forget about student drivers. It's like everybody seemed to be
Angry.
it's like angry, and I'm like, this is the stage of rage or the rage age or something. It's like it's okay to be mad, and what people say, I am the way I am. It is what it is.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about. You said there's 3 types.
So I
dig in
wanted
it.
to ask a question
Okay.
with what you were just saying. When people are angry behind the wheel, so you're angry. What is the underlying cause of that anger, right? So a lot of times if you're angry in traffic, it's because you have a destination to go to, right? You have an appointment and you're afraid that you're going to be late.
Exactly.
That's a bunch of bull crap. So
It's
don't
a
look at me
fear.
like. I mean, you
It
catch
may
your.
seem
I mean, you
so
catch your eye at me
minute, but
like.
it's a fear.
That's right.
Because
Anger, E?
That's
You know what I'm saying?
But that's right. And eat growling and stuff. But I just want to say this. And when you say that, Millie, and you point those things out, there's 4 triggers. And we're going to talk about some triggers to anger. But there's 4 triggers or 4 things that need to be present or will be present when fear is present. And they're uncertainty. And that's one of the things. Attention, change, and struggle. And so if either of those are present,
All
just
of them.
seek it.
Oh,
I'm just saying, usually fear is. Let's continue, Millie, with.
I wanted to ask a question before
Okay.
you get to the next form of anger. And you ask if there is present all of them, and do we see it on a daily basis? Yes. And we need to look at ourselves. And before we came on air,
Okay.
Doc V, I'm
What?
going to tell you I love you. I'm going to tell you I love you first.
Here we go.
But-
what camera can I give him? Okay.
But you ask what is your type of anger? Doc V, you are very passive aggressive.
Let me just say
when
this.
it comes to anger. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna give you a prime example.
You
doing
better
it now.
get it right,
You're
Ninja.
doing it right
You
now.
better get it right,
You're doing it
Ninja.
right now. Because first of all, you cut your eyes at me like, how dare you?
But when did I do this?
You
now?
just did it.
Oh, did I?
And you speak. You see how you speak? You don't change your tone. That's the passive aggressive. You don't change your tone, but you slow your words.
Like what? What do you?
And you say, look, Ninja, get it right. That's your passive aggressive. That's how we do that on a regular basis.
Well,
we try.
tune into my passive aggressiveness.
I'm telling you,
because
Doc
some
V.
people think I'm a pushover out here in these streets.
Doc
So
V, come on.
I need
And
them to know
that's
I
why,
got some.
That's why it's passive.
Come on.
Because you let people, you lure people in to make them think, and that's what passive aggressive
teach
anger
me.
is.
Come on, say it.
You lure people in to think that they're gonna get over on you, and then you cut them deep. You cut
I
'em
don't
deep.
know.
Am I wrong?
How do I cut
Well,
them deep?
Come on, Doc V.
I need to know. I mean,
It's
we're
your
going to just
words.
keep,
It's
okay,
your
we're not
words.
going to make this about Dr. V.
No,
but I'm really
I'm
trying
giving you an
to
example.
open up
And
to
this is not just you.
acceptance.
It's that's how we hurt people a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because we lure them in with our passive aggressive anger, and we give them a comfort or a sensibility of comfort, and then we hit them with something, we destroy them with something, we cut them with something, and that's because we don't want to put it out there straight. We want to get our point across, but we don't want to seem volatile. And I say this because black women,
Here you go,
No.
black women. Y'all get ready because we're going to have to.
black women,
Trap this
black
brother.
women use passive aggressiveness a lot because they don't want to be known as the angry black woman. They don't want to be known as the loud
Come
black
on,
woman.
man.
They don't want to be known as the black woman that just can't control herself. And I'm not saying all, but I'm just saying it is used in this. So your mother used passive aggressiveness. I mean.
So
I'm
can
telling-
you have this trait and then still be just loving and just people want to be around you all the
Absolutely.
time? You can still have
Absolutely.
that. and
Yes, you can still have
all
that,
of
but,
that at the same
but-
time.
But that's how it becomes more passive aggressive because you lull people in, but you set people straight, Doc V. I've seen it. Everybody's seen it, but ain't nobody else gonna sit up here and admit it that you do it.
We're going to get past this.
and
gonna
and
move
then we're gonna
forward.
go. But it's
And maybe you have seen me. I
I'm
don't know
very
which camera is
passive-aggressive.
going to get me, but I don't know. But maybe you have seen me, and I've had to set some people straight. I have a job to do. Here on Neutral Voices. Thank you for joining us, and I have to keep us on task. And as Clara say, I'm going to use my passive aggressiveness to get back to the papers.
let's
and
get
let's
back
get
to
it
the
going.
point. Let's go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I find it sarcasm when people are passive aggressive.
That's part of it too.
It's a form of sarcasm.
Okay.
And you
Yeah,
hear in
and
the
I think that's
background,
good to say that.
And-
it's
Yes.
And that's me.
when
That's me.
when I'm
Yes.
angry or
You real sarcastic.
because I'm afraid that I'm going to cross the line and hurt somebody's feelings.
Yes.
So I become sarcastic to
Oh, yeah.
kind of downplay.
Gotcha.
So,
and so Clarence, you said that's
That's
the one
me.
you
That's me.
you
but
roll
you
with
do
a
it
lot of
classy,
sarcasm.
is what he's saying. You do it real classy. So you, like that. You know what I'm saying?
Was that it? Did I do it? Lee?
So let me tell you what passive aggressive
Okay, let's-
behavior
let's
is.
See what it is.
Its behavior is a pattern of indirectly expressing negative feelings instead of openly addressing them. There's a disconnect between what a person who exhibits passive aggressive behavior says and what he or she does. And I know I have that. Yes, amen, amen.
You
But
know
I'm
thyself.
truthful about that.
Know thyself.
I'm a single woman, and a lot of times in our society, men talk down or they think that you don't know something. You know, it's simple as changing a tire, your oil. So I'm very sarcastic. That is in my DNA. But
Okay.
I'm very upfront about it. That way, if I say something, you're not offended because you know ahead of time.
Gotcha. And I don't know what they call it when you're just direct. What is that?
Blunt.
So is that that's what I'm saying. When you're
That's
just
the
blunt
aggressive.
and you're just gonna say it.
That's the aggressive. That's not.
But I'm
passive.
saying, but if you say it and you're not trying to hide it.
That's being
That's
aggressive.
aggressive.
You're not
Open aggression.
Open
That's
aggression.
open
Oh,
aggression.
because I thought she had
Yeah, I'm
three.
sorry.
That's
Yeah.
a sharp contrast to passive aggressive anger, as it's usually expressed outwardly, mostly in a physical or verbally aggressive way.
That's bad.
That's what we see most of the time.
Okay.
When people are angry.
All right now.
You
So
don't
we
have to
talk-
be angry to be. I mean, to say something forceful.
I mean, when people burst out, it's like when you say the tea kettle
Yeah, and the whistles.
and it whistles. Enough's enough.
Don't
you
mean
know.
they're angry.
because
No.
they've been holding it in almost.
Right.
So it's been suppressed,
So-
and then it comes out. It's an outburst.
So for a long
Explosion.
time, I've been quiet. You know, people think you're quiet, you don't say much,
Right.
but that's not. I'm very outward. I'm loud,
Yes.
and I'm very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And then people automatically think I'm always angry.
So what do you think caused you to be automatically aggressive?
Soy Boricua. I'm Puerto Rican.
Okay,
I'm
so
from
that's
New
what I'm saying.
York.
So sometimes
I
people
talk
say-
with my
Environment.
hands.
Right.
We're
And I'm not
loud.
Puerto Rican, but I talk
You
with
know
my
what I'm
hands.
saying?
But I'm saying, so are you?
You could be.
That passive aggressive is-
You could be.
So,
That sarcasm.
but
Go
I
ahead,
just want to
Dr.
dig a little deeper. I'm saying, so are these things learned? Do we get this from our environment? What created this? And because you said this is the way I am, and so that's what I was saying at the beginning. Some people say this is just the way I am, take it or leave it. So what created that?
Environment, how you're raised, just like anything else with religion, even our health, because that affects our health. Anger, our fears,
Yes.
those things affect our health, and those things are learned patterns
Absolutely.
from your mom, your grandmother, whether it's your auntie or the lady on the corner, or because you saw a man do something and now it's ingrained in your brain.
Yes.
I'm gonna say a good portion of that is correct, but I think what gives you that is you. You can be in any environment, and you don't have to take any of those traits in. You can survive any environment. So it is what you consume. So it is what we decide to take in. So the majority of what makes you you is you. When you decide to be the you that you want to be, that's the you're going to be. No matter what anybody says, no matter what environment you're in.
But
So
you can change that. I'm
you
just
can
saying.
change that.
Okay.
Yes.
But you're saying at that moment, that's who you decided to be. That's the emotion you decided to
Yes.
to show.
Yes.
And so, because one thing that is a fact is that anger is simply your reaction to stress.
Yes.
So sometimes when certain situations happen and occur and how you deal with those things, your reaction can be a form of anger.
Yes. Well,
So-
I mean, I look at it. Anger is like you said, is a reaction. It's not a response. So a lot of times people take respond and reaction to, as one and the same.
Interchangeable. Yeah.
And they're not. So I could be angry and not and react one way, but I could be angry and respond
A different one.
in a different way. So you have to differentiate the two from the situation. And a lot of times when you get angry, and I would say I get 70% of the time when you get angry, you react.
Okay.
And because if you respond, you really wouldn't get angry. You would just respond in a way that could be totally different from a reactive anger or anger reaction.
Okay, so let's make this personal. What makes you angry? Like, if this happens, I'm mad. What makes you angry? Your triggers.
Messing with my kids.
Okay.
No. I don't get angry. I get mad.
Okay.
Mess with
So-
one of them, I get mad. So
That's
I
a
would-
trigger for you.
Yeah, I will react. So
And if somebody know that, now that trigger, it could also be a trap.
no, it won't
And
be a
keep
trap
you-
because you will have to. I still, regardless of what I've learned growing up, regardless of what situation you in, the first thing you need to do is think.
Yes.
So you
Absolutely.
can't
We
just
do that.
because somebody made you mad or take you to that level. Don't that doesn't mean that you have to show them you at that level.
That's right.
So you can digress and still be upset and move around.
Absolutely. Okay.
So
Millie?
when I was married and I would get angry and I wouldn't say anything and the house would be very scared because I
She was quiet.
was quiet. It was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I need to sleep with one eye open,
So
kinda
fear was
thing.
present for them.
Right. But
Anger was present with you.
yes.
That whole uncertainty thing.
But
that we were
I
talking
wanted
about.
to bounce another
Yeah.
thing off of you. Can it be good? Can anger be a good thing?
Yeah, and so anger could be a good thing. And then I want to know what really ticks you off too, Clarence. Anger could be a good thing in a sense of, so me personally, somebody called me stupid one time and it seemed like I've been educating ever since. It seemed like I knew I wasn't, and I know, my level or my education level, but that triggered something in me. And so anger could be a motivation. And so you make me mad, I go hard
Motivated to do what?
to be better.
Okay.
Motivated to whatever that was. And so if somebody say, hey, fat girl, I may be motivated to go to the gym and
be better.
to look a certain type of way,
Right.
so it's to be better. But my thing was the whole education piece. You call me stupid. I know that's not the case, but so it just triggered me to just keep excelling. So that's how it works for me, and that's how I look at it in a good way. So Clarence, one of your triggers.
The first answer to one of my triggers. First of all, it takes a lot to make me angry. It really does.
We've seen you mad, but we're not gonna go there.
Yeah,
But-
no, I'm saying it takes a lot. I didn't say I don't. I said
No,
it
I'm just
takes a
saying
lot.
we've seen you.
Yeah, so it
We don't
takes
have
a lot.
time to go into that story.
Yeah, but so my trigger is a constant repetitive of a behavior that I've told you, people that repeat behaviors
Okay.
and they think I don't.
You mad at them because they keep doing the same thing?
Yes, and I already told you, don't do that.
It's because they're doing something they doing it to you or
Yes.
in your circle.
Yeah,
Okay.
So,
All
so
right.
that's why I say that repetitive. But now, is anger ever good? No. Because here's why I say that. Because we talk about spirituality a lot on the show. God said, "Do not let the sun go down on your wrath."
Yeah.
You cannot be angry, and anger
go to
is something
sleep.
you don't let go real quick. Something that anger.
Yeah,
is
but
something-
not everybody, because see, you can't use the words of God now and just mess it up now,
I'm
because
not-
you just said don't go to sleep on it. So that's different. So that
How is
means
that
that you can be angry, because Jesus, don't act like Jesus didn't come through kicking some stuff over.
Yeah, he came and flipped the whole
I'm just
synagogue
saying,
upside down.
don't act like that didn't happen. That has many times in the Bible, something angered the Lord. Okay, so you can get mad.
You can get mad,
But
you
sin
can't get
not.
angry. Angry
You
is two
can
different
get
things.
angry. Sin
That's
not.
where we're confused.
What is anger?
Okay.
How we interpret and react to certain situations.
Now-
Jesus threw it over,
Now-
kicked it over.
Now you've been mad and you've never acted out. You've been mad. You sit
Many
and pout when
times.
you get mad.
Because there's
So,
different ways.
so
different
anger
ways.
is higher than mad.
Yes, anger is way higher than mad.
But since we're talking about
But let's
being
go. Let's go.
angry,
I'm with
I'm
you.
saying you can be angry and sin not.
Yes.
And what you're saying as far as don't let the sun go down on your anger, this meaning you don't hold a grudge and you keep holding it. So I agree with
Yeah,
that.
and-
So but what I'm saying is, that you can be mad. That is an emotion. It is
Exactly.
real. To deny it
But
is just
anger,
bad.
and here's where the anger is. The anger. Let's look at Cain. We can. Cain and
you
Abel.
gonna go there?
There was a difference between anger and mad. He got angered and he killed his brother. He didn't get mad and killed his brother.
No, I've never said the word mad, so I
Yeah,
don't know.
so that's
where
what
you-
I'm. No,
I don't know why we on mad and angry.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
only
he the one-
talking about
He brought it
angry.
up.
Yeah.
You brought it up, so
Yeah, so it's a difference between
so
mad
like
and
I said,
mad.
it's a difference. I'm trying to figure out which one is at a higher degree. I always thought being
I just want to
mad.
make sure we stick to our notes.
Well,
Yes.
well, yeah, but I just thought mad was always higher than anger. That was my thought process. Was,
And I
but-
never stopped to think about which one was which. I just know if I'm mad, I'm angry. So I'm putting them
So if
together.
you angry, are you mad?
I'm just saying. That's why I'm
I'm
telling
just-
you. I haven't.
You get what I'm
I
saying,
haven't taken
Clarence?
the time to try to split
proving
the
my
two.
point.
I'm
Okay.
just asking a question.
So-
Okay,
Okay.
let's go.
Really,
Okay.
they have-
So real
She
quick,
looked up something real
Grammarly.
quick.
Okay, anger is an emotion most of us feel from time to time,
Mm-hmm.
and like any other emotion, it can be healthy if it is an appropriate response to something. Mad is an adjective used to describe something that relates to, is characterized by, or derives from serious mental illness. So to be mad,
Like a mad dog.
correct.
So mad is
I don't
higher.
know why we on that subject. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Neutral Voices. We're talking about anger and
And
fear,
fear, yes.
tonight. Some kind of way we got on mad and anger.
Well, I mean,
So,
you have to.
I don't
you
know.
have to see. You have to.
but
Some people
we
didn't
just
know,
want
like I
to-
didn't. Some
Like-
people didn't know there was a difference.
And so we're
Exactly.
that's
So
good
you-
education. And I said I never thought about it enough to know or think whether there was a difference. But I do want to make sure that we cover some of the territory
Let's go.
in a different zone here. We're talking about anger and fear. And what I was talking about is triggers and traps,
Triggers,
etc.
yes.
Me personally, something that really makes me angry makes me mad, but really makes me angry is if somebody lies on me
Yeah,
or you're lying to me.
that lie
So,
on me gets me.
yeah,
too,
I
because
can
got
get
too much
really
to fix
upset
behind.
about-
Yeah,
So upset. I'm not mad. I can get upset about that.
No, I
and
get
so
angry about
yeah,
that.
but those are some of the things. But why should we know our triggers? Why is it important for us to know those triggers, even about our spouses or our children? You know how the Bible says you not to nag, for parents not to nag
provoke the
and
children.
provoke the children. Why is that important for us?
because you don't know. And an angry person, and we talk about this, an angry person, you don't know what they're capable of. When you hit that anger level, you lose sense of control. So you got to know where your sense of control is being lost.
That's good.
So
Clarence.
that's why you got to know your triggers. You got to know what's going to push that button that's going to set you off, because you can say, I would never do that.
That's right.
But you've never been pushed to the point of anger where you have to do whatever. So you got to know what triggers is going to get you there.
And that's called emotional competence. That's
Yes.
awesome. You was over here in my notes. I love that. You know something else that triggers people, and I'm just thinking about marriage and relationships. When people keep bringing up the same thing, or every time we have an argument or discussion, you keep bringing up the past, and you won't let that go. So I'm
That's
going
that
to say,
passive aggressive anger.
and I'm going to call it unforgiveness. So when you mentioned
It's still
spiritual
passive
at a
aggressive.
certain point,
Yes.
some people never let it go.
Yeah. And
Never
that's
let
true.
it go.
That's true.
And so it is interesting how you put that into that passive aggressiveness. Are you quick to forgive
Yes.
or slow to forgive?
I'm quick to forgive.
But are you holding a grudge?
I don't hold grudges.
I have to talk to the person that have to say,
Yeah, I don't hold grudges.
okay.
That's too much work to
With-
hold a grudge.
Okay.
Because if you hold up my thought process, I mean, it's just real talk. If I hold a grudge against you, you got way too much power over me at that
Absolutely.
point.
That's right. That's a silent control.
Yeah. So I can't let nobody control me.
Okay, let's talk about fear for a moment. And you have heard people say false evidence appearing real. You say that,
Yeah.
right? So where does fear fit in with this?
Fear is and I said this before, and E repeated it, but he won't repeat it. We're gonna have to go back to the tape to this.
Please.
But fear is it's actually it's a stimulation of your emotions and everything. You react, and it's a stimuli. And here's what happens: we give you something to make you fear, and this is why I say fear begets anger. We give you something to be fear. And you were talking about spiritual, and I want to use religion because it says God has not given us the spirit of fear. But I was reading it; it gives us a sound mind, and I read a different connotation, and that says it gives us self-control. So here's what it means: is that you gotta know your triggers first of all. So the fear is not anything other than false evidence appearing real. So if it's not real, it's something that's stimulating you. It's something that's giving you a feeling, and it's giving you a reaction. So, and we use many things as fear. We use the media as fear. We use religion. Religion is used as fear. And this is why I say this. You can go to different churches, and you go to some churches, and all they preach is, hell. All they're going to preach is fire and brimstone. They keep you fear in subjection. Where God's saying, when they say fear God, that's a reverence. That's an understanding. Mm-hmm. That's like you reverence your parents. But when they keep giving you, think about these jihadists. They're fearing that their religion or whatever is going to be overtaken by infidels, which is non-believers. That's what they say. So what do? It begets their anger, and they come after, and they do people harm.
Oh, see, you just spent it a whole nother way, and I'm just going to ask a question. Just because I have a fear of something, how do that makes me angry? I'm just asking. Just because I fear something, say, okay, I'm afraid of heights. I have a fear of heights. Uh-huh. Just because I have a fear of heights, don't mean I'm angry because of the height.
Yeah, and we never.
Let's be.
We didn't say.
But y'all keep putting it together like that.
It comes together, but it's not There's no absolute to anything. There's always an exception to every rule. There's no absolute to anything.
Well,
but
so
here's what
if there's
saying.
no absolute to everything, there's no absolutely sure that I'm gonna be angry because I have a fear or something.
No, but one of your fears is going to trigger your anger. That's an absolute.
It sure?
Might not. Yes.
You positive?
Yes.
Okay.
Possibility.
Okay. If you say so.
Hold on.
I'm going to roll with you on that one. I'm going to leave it alone. Because I guess.
If you fear for your life, you're not going to tell me that's not going to bring out your anger.
I understand what you're saying, but you're trying to put it all together. Fear is just. Oh, if you fear this, you are angry. If you fear that, you are angry.
I didn't say that.
That's how y'all proceeding what fear and anger is.
That's not even how I
we
presented it.
We don't have time to get through
I'm just saying.
That's how y'all presented it.
No.
That's not how I presented it.
Okay.
If that might be how you took it.
That's how I feel like this. That's how I received it.
Okay.
Let's
go that way.
Quickly. I know, Millie, you got some other stuff you want to share, but quickly, how do we help somebody in a short? How do we help somebody that's dealing with an anger problem or excessive fear? Because I have fear sometimes when I'm getting ready to host a show. You getting ready to say 2, 3, whatever. A fear can come over you.
Right.
And I think it's healthy sometimes to have that. I would say when you feel fear, just be aware something great is about to happen. That's one of the things I would tell people. What do you?
I would say face whatever it is. Don't let anything stop you or hold you down. Yeah. Just go at it, face it, challenge it, overcome it.
Really? Anything about fear or anger as we're exiting?
Yeah, face it head on. A lot of times, if I want to try something new, I'm afraid that I'm going to do it wrong or it's not going to be good enough.
Right.
But just try.
Yes. E?
He looked angry.
Really? But anyway, I'm have to agree with y'all. Just face it. Fear is something you can really face.
So as you face everything and rise.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to go with that one.
Preach that right there. Repeat that.
Face everything and rise.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was in our notes. But one of the things, I'll leave you with this because there's a lot of conversation and we'll get to continue this a little bit tomorrow. can we visit it just a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Voice of the people. And so I want to leave you with this. Thank you for joining us. And this is awesome. This is a quote from James Thurber. And it says, "Let us not look back in anger, nor forward in fear, but around in awareness." Thank you. This is Neutral Voices, and we will see you next time. And E, what do you want to tell the people?
Always protect your mind.